This episode is sponsored by Battlephone.com, now with new lower shipping prices.
Okay, work. Come on. Weekender time?
I'm busy.
Right.
I'm busy.
Right, okay.
Let me get you someone. Here we go.
Oh, no. 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 Tom, I know you can hear me, Tom. Tom! Stop ignoring me, Tom!
Warren, you can't just use the force signal. It's good. You're the boss. Yay, force. Hello everyone and welcome to the Weekender, the one stop for all of your gaming goings on. I am joined this time by Justin. Hello. Ben up on the screen.
Hello.
And by Lance.
Hi everyone.
Now, Lance, is this your first time on the Weekender? I can't remember.
He's
been on before. He's
I've
just been on
before. Warren dragged me out of the chair from editing. But the good news is I can do this.
What did he do? What did he do?
What, you don't hear Saturday Night Fever?
Nah. Unfortunately, Warren is once again busy getting the site ready to go.
Yeah, he's down in the code mines.
Yeah, which
Is
means
he? I saw him drinking tea.
That's what. That's the
I saw him
official
drinking
drink
tea
of
and
the
watching
Code
Peppa
Miners.
Pig with the kids.
You've got to come up for air once in a while.
yeah. Okay. No, he's working very hard.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But
Very
that
hard.
Yeah, that does mean I get the captain's chair again and can try more of the buttons.
No.
There's that one. Warren, stop watching Peppa Pig. Okay.
Brightness and happiness and joy in the inner child.
I feel like I've learnt a lot with his kids watching Peppa Pig in the office. Anyway, we've got a lot to go through in this episode. Starting off, we have the CMON Expo live blog running this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. Dawn Gianna will be at CMON Expo and will be live blogging throughout the weekend to let us know all of what's going on
Yeah, I'm a
there.
little jealous.
Yeah, just a little?
Just a little jealous because, alright, we've been doing all of the Game of Thrones stuff with the guys at CMON. And yeah, I've been kind of hankering to get the Barbarians and the Berserkers all out on the table again.
Really?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that game.
That is a game I really want to dig into, specifically because I like the non-battle focused stuff.
Yeah, the fact that you have the political intrigue on the side.
That is the bit that really appeals to me about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, I mean, whenever I was working with Michael, it was really interesting to see just how they had crafted it in, that it was actually a resource that you were trying to sort of, it's that Mexican standoff, who's going to pull the trigger first on it and leave slots open for you to get what you want? Or do you jump in there first and deny your opponent the thing they really, really want if you can read the table well enough?
All sounds great. When are the dragons coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want dragons.
We always want dragons.
Everyone wants dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there anything from CMON you guys would like to see?
Hate.
Hate?
Yeah. I definitely want to see where that game's going. Bloodborne, definitely want to see what's going on with that.
Oh yeah, I'd be more interested in Bloodborne to see what they're doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's seeing what they're going to be doing next, because obviously CMON have got a huge library of games to draw from, and I think they've been talking about a super secret project. So hopefully Dawn and Gianna get to talk to the guys about that as well. That'll be very cool. So yeah.
Whoa. If they're talking about a super secret project, is it super secret anymore?
It's super secret
Ish?
to us.
Yeah.
There we go.
It won't be super secret once Dawn and Gianna get there.
Yeah.
We'll make sure of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully the guys have some very cool stuff to show off. Oh, they may have the new zombie side. That is definitely one to have a look at.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cool things to show off, we recently got a really cool board game in the office, didn't we?
Yeah, not from CMON.
No, not
Gonna
from
caveat
CMON.
that now.
No, not from CMON, no.
Gimme.
Really cool board game. I am so excited to show this off. Captain Sonar.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me on the old Stingray TV show.
Every time I hear Captain Sonar, I want to start singing Stingray. Stingray, Stingray.
You see, I just have like its own little theme tune going, Captain Sonar, you're the hero, blow the sub up.
What is that from? That is an actual one.
Hello,
Gonna take them all down to 0.
Can we open it?
Yes.
Of course you can.
Captain Planet. That was
Let's,
it.
let's have a look
Theme
at
songs anymore.
the cover
I
first.
think
Yeah.
This-
emphasizes the unboxing.
Look at the
Yeah.
artwork. That is gorgeous. Now, this game, for being a sub-battle game, is actually incredibly simple to play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was having a look at a couple of Let's Plays online, and basically it plays from 2 to 8 players.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing is, it's like battleships on steroids.
Oh.
And I mean like on super steroids, not the normal kind. So basically, I'll get the rulebook and the...
Well,
stuff
before you
out
go
of the way.
on, I will say the thing that appealed to me as soon as we got this in, you know, this came in, cracked open, went, oh, this looks interesting. 2 to 8 players.
Yeah.
It's not often you get board games that are even above 5 players.
Yeah.
Never mind 8.
Yeah, that and the way the game's designed, it shouldn't slow down even with 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm wondering as well that do we have enough people in the studio to play this game?
Well,
It's fine. I will literally break into one of the other offices in the building and just Shanghai some per office worker and bring them in and set them down.
Yeah.
Like, you're with us now, yes?
Eating a sandwich like, I didn't know this place existed.
yeah, we were talking. So the focus of it is 2 teams of 4,
Yeah.
which is really even more interesting. I've rarely seen team-based play.
Well, the thing is, the less players you have, the more rules each person has to take on, so
Yeah.
it does scale.
Yeah.
You know, although I imagine a 2-player game can get very hectic trying to be the captain, the first officer, the engineer, and the radio operator.
Yeah. Well, let's crack it open and
All right,
see how
so
it goes.
the first thing we've got a little bit of a catalogue for some of the other games that the company
Yeah.
makes, which is
Oh,
always
they
nice
make
to have.
Takanoko.
Do they make Takanoko?
Yeah.
Do you see Takanoko?
Yeah.
Yeah, they make Takanoko. Who is this? This is
Matagot.
Matagot. Alright, so you've got your rulebook. This is a very thin rulebook. It is so simple to learn to play this game. Next thing down, this is not what you're seeing. There is actually some clear sheets here that you're going to draw on with a wipeable marker. These are great because this is how you're going to track where your submarines are. This is one of the key things because you're in a submarine, you have this.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Well, you have a couple of these. So
Hey.
this,
It's a game master board.
well,
Let's just take a look at it.
it's a privacy
Yeah,
screen.
hold that
for
up
each of
to
the
see
teams.
on the
Well, we've
see
got
the art here.
2 of them. So I'll hold.
We'll hold the first one up.
What?
Yeah, there's this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That.
Can we see that?
Let's try and get the whole lot across here.
Not the hat.
There we go.
So it makes a full sort of submarine command center across this.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to use so that your opponent can't see where you're sailing your submarine. We then drill further down into the box.
I can't put it away now. There we go.
How do things fold?
Yes.
Alright, so the next thing we're getting here is the different maps, because there are actually like 5 different game maps in this, and you'll see at the top, each one tells you which station this is for. So what your captain does is, he navigates your submarine and actually controls calling stop whenever you're using abilities, firing torpedoes, things like that.
No, wait, you touched on this a second ago.
Yes.
You said every player has a role, so one person is the captain.
One person, well, 2 people are captains.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 teams.
Yeah.
So,
I thought you were going to say two people are captains on the same boat.
no.
Mutiny.
We are not doing, what was it, K-19 the Widowmaker? That would just be awful.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, you've not seen K-19?
No. I
Oh,
haven't.
dude, it's such a good Soviet era. Oh. Okay, you're going to have to watch it.
We'll add it to the list.
Yes, the ever-growing list of stuff Sam needs to watch. Alright, so this is your captain's one.
Yeah.
And he's basically going to be navigating through all the islands and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from those navigations, the radio operator on the opposing team has to listen to what the captain's saying and actually track out where that captain is going.
Oh, so they have a similar.
So they have a
group,
similar map. So the captain's going to draw straight
Yeah.
onto this, and basically the radio operator gets those clear sheets, because then they can slide around the north, south, east, west, where the other captain is saying to go, to try and figure out, could they fit through this line on the grid, to try and zero in on where they are. So the first maps are pretty simple. There are 4 squares.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty tight game. You're going to see people finding each other pretty damn quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If I move on, Bravo is the same. There are some of these that are bigger. Are they? They're double-sided.
Oh, what?
So you go from a 4-grid map to a 9-grid map, which all of a sudden makes it a lot more challenging. Now, if I quickly jump through all of the rest of the maps, because like I said, there are 5 possible maps that you could actually play your games out on, and then we come to some of the other control consoles. So this is your first officer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he is going to be doing, as you make turns and movements around the ocean, he gets to fill up these different slots. So you've got mines, torpedoes, sonar scans, surfacing, silent running, things like that.
So it's like power-ups in a video game, charging up as you play.
Exactly, but your first officer is keeping track of these, and it can only be used whenever it's filled. But as soon as you fill it, you have to use it.
Okay, that's so as soon as you can't hold it off.
Well, you can. So you fill it to one before and keep it there, but eventually you're going to have to trigger something. You also have this one, which is a scenario ability. That only comes in on like the Echo map, I think.
Okay.
But he's also tracking the submarine damage, and the way you win is the first submarine to take 4 damage loses. Now, there are a few different ways to take damage. So if I go to here, this is your engineer's map.
Mm-hmm.
So
wait, because they're the engineer,
yes,
do they have to constantly speak in a Scottish accent, telling the captain they can't do it?
Well, the thing is, you get to name your submarine, so you could call it the Enterprise if you want it.
There we go. Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Now, what he's going to do is every time your captain makes a move, he has to mark off a stress point, essentially.
Okay.
So, say we move east, I can mark anything in here to actually say, okay, there's a bit of damage here, but as soon as any one of these is marked, so see the way you've got this is like your weapon system?
Yeah.
As soon as one of those is marked, you can't use that ability. So you have a real interplay of talking between the first officer, the engineer saying, okay, look, we're going to need to fire torpedoes soon, do not mark torpedoes. And then the engineer accidentally marks a torpedo, and it's just like, okay, we're ready to fire! Fire! Sorry, they don't work.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You also have your engineer repairing these as well. And if things get really bad, you can surface, but when you surface, you have to play a mini game where you actually have to start drawing in these and actually marking what's in them.
I see.
So you see the little sub map here, if you bring it up for me?
Oh, yeah?
You have to start tracing around these and actually marking them all in. And then in the bottom of the map, or the box, you get 8 of these, which is your non-permanent markers.
Yes.
So you have one for everybody, so you're not trading about markers, which used to annoy me in some games.
No, that is great.
It is so simple.
There's a lot of communication going on. Everything's happening at once. Like,
Yeah, now you have a couple of different game modes as well.
Yeah.
So you can either have a turn-based mode where the 2 captains, I'll take my turn making my moves, doing my stuff, you'll take your turn making your moves, doing your stuff. Or you can go real-time mode.
Oh.
So you just go at your own pace. You don't wait for anybody until someone calls out, stop, we're doing a thing.
Now, that's the mode that most appeals to me, because I think that
I
will
would
get
say the
very...
turn-based mode, I would do it for the first couple of rounds just for new players to get them into the feel of what needs to be done, and then go real-time like halfway through.
Now, as soon as this came in and I saw the team-based, I thought we have to film with this.
Yeah, definitely. I want to get this under camera.
And because of that frantic nature, I think this would be one that would be great fun to live stream.
Yes, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I tell you what. The only way I am live streaming this is if I have like a keg of cider beside me on the live stream for a couple of drinks.
Could we get like Ben as the engineer then? Because he's below deck.
There we go, yeah.
Ben, get back in your hole!
Communications have been cut. His Skype's gone out.
I like this idea.
Who let off an EMP? We've lost Ben. But very fun game. Definitely one to check out. If you like your cooperative team-based games, this just looks absolutely fantastic. The build quality on it, everything feels nice and sturdy. And I would say this is one of those games where I could pay it the greatest compliment that I can pay to any board game, or I pay to any board game.
Yeah.
I could play this to destruction.
Wonderful. What role do you think you'd take if you were to play this?
Me, I would probably take radio operator.
Radio operator?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because Warren would probably be on the opposing team and his voice is loud enough that I would never miss it whenever everybody else is talking at the same time.
There we go. Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. Sorry, no, the phrase is when you're right, when he's right, he's right.
Damn right.
How about you, Lance? What would you go for?
I have no idea.
I would make Lance the first officer.
Hmm?
I don't know, because this is the kind of game that is too hectic for me to fully enjoy. I do like these kind of cooperative games, but I hate the moment of like, you have to do this right now or else you're gonna die. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Oh, you
Because
get brain freeze?
Yeah, I like a little bit of planning, and
Right, so the turn-based mode for you.
yeah, perhaps I couldn't play free play. It'd be too hectic for me.
And it plays in like 45 minutes as well, which is great. So this is a very quick game that you can just sit down and run through.
So maybe the idea would be to film a let's play with this in the standard turn-based, and then turn on the live stream and go full real time just to get the chaos.
If I was playing this for fun myself, the one thing I would do is I would have the teams in different rooms of the house and have the radio operators listening in at the doors, running back and forth with the information.
Get an actual radio.
That's like
Yeah,
major,
just Skype in
major
with
Captain
Yeah,
Sonar.
something like that. But I would do it like that so that you don't have that chance to peek over the top and go, they're there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Guarantee there's always going to be someone in the group that'll
Oh,
sitting like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom.
No, you do not get to see.
Sorry, I'm not. I wasn't planning on doing that at all. No,
No.
nothing.
Sam, I
Didn't
believe
cross
you.
my mind.
There's thousands out there that wouldn't, but I believe you.
Well, anyway, we're going to take a quick break here to tell you about some hubs, and when we're back, we'll look at some news.
Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War Hub. Take command of elves, dwarves and orcs in this game of massed fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com. Fame and fortune awaits in Blood and Plunder. Set sail in the golden age of piracy and claim the riches of the Caribbean at beastsofwar.com.
And we're back, and we're kicking things off with some new Star Wars. Ben, what's happening with Star Wars Legion?
Yeah, so Fantasy Flight Games actually did a little bit more of a preview of what's coming with the Leia Organa Commander expansion for Star Wars Legion. So we actually got to look at some more of the cards that are going to be thrown into this mix. And they also talked a little bit more about how you can use her tactically on the tabletop. Now, she's a little cheaper than Luke, which a lot of people have been using in their Star Wars Legion forces at the moment, obviously. And so she's going to be a good match to throw in some extra troops in there, or maybe even partner her with someone like Han Solo, which would be pretty cool. And he's obviously getting his own commander box as well. She's got some really awesome abilities on her cards and stuff that really help her tie things into how her troops work on the tabletop. So she's got her ability to give cover 2 and also sharpshooter 2 as well. So she can make units shoot a little better. You can force them into cover and make sure that they don't get shot up and things like that as well. A lot of her abilities are all tied around this, so she's all about giving them extra activations and things like that. For example, there's one of her abilities which is called No Time for Sorrow, which comes on one of her command cards, which allows a friendly troop unit, when it's issued an order, to make an additional speed -1 move as well, which is really cool. One of the things that really stuck out to me though with this is the Coordinated Bombardment card, which allows you to bring down raining fire from above from capital ships. So if you've got the Empire surrounding you on all sides, you can start to lay down some withering fire and destroy them as they're coming towards you, which I thought was very, very cool indeed. And it all kind of feeds into the idea that Leia Organa is this awesome able-bodied commander as well. She's very, very good in combat just as it is. I think she has exactly the same dice for both her shooting and her melee as well, so she's good with her martial arts and shooting her blaster pistols as well. So she's a very cool addition to the range for Star Wars Legion, indeed.
Compared to Luke, she is super cheap. I'm going to say that now. 90 points, that is a cheap commander. Some of the abilities are quite nice. I am a little concerned, though, that is it changing the forces enough with the new commander to really give you a new flavour? I'm very curious to see if this is take her with another commander to play bigger games, or if this is going to be seeing new troops that are going to work even better with her.
I think so. A lot of people are going to be used to gathering all troops just into one area, and then with orbital bombardment come down.
Yeah.
You clear them off the table in one go.
Yeah. Well, you see, the interesting thing with her is that take cover 2 is really useful, because the rebel troopers, when they spend a dodge, they automatically gain a dodge. So it'll make them maybe a bit more efficient on the tabletop. Instead of having to spend one of their actions to dodge the whole time, you have Leia coming up behind saying, you dodge, you dodge.
I just think it's so great to see her coming on the tabletop, especially with this orbital bombardment, because that's tapping into a side of the character we don't really get to see that much.
I'm not sure if it's actually an orbital bombardment.
No?
I think it is. Well, I mean, like, looking at the card, it looks like a regular shooting attack.
Yeah.
So you probably are still going to need like line of sight, because you see here you've got the range 4.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's going to allow you to target anything.
Yeah,
but-
the idea is that she's spotting something on the tabletop, and then the ships from above in orbit are shooting down onto it. That's the whole idea of the attack. So.
Yeah, but it's not actually an orbital bombardment. That could confuse some people who are used to hearing it from like 40k and stuff. This is a direct line of sight shooting attack from what I can see here. There may be something different from the cards later.
Right.
So just so we don't confuse the players and go, Beasts of War lied to us.
I just think it's really cool. Yeah,
they do that anyway in Star Wars content.
We've been getting better.
Yes, you're learning.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the recent one that went out with me and Jerry with him playing the speeder bike list, that hurt. And thank you for the tactical advice, everybody. I will be trying.
You mean Chewbacca?
Yes.
He was a little grizzly that day.
Yeah. I think this is pretty good because, like, so far we've only seen Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing Leia into the fold now is going to change the game to show that this is either going to be a game that you play in the next 12 months or in the next 10 years.
Yeah, well, the other thing is you've now got the new Imperial Commander, General Veers is out as well. He's got some very similar abilities, so that's going to be good for the Imperials because Vader is a big point sink. He's a huge point sink. Huh?
I want Grievous.
You want Grievous?
I want to see that. Yeah. I really want to see that. That would be so much fun.
There's the question. Which characters would you want to put on the tabletop as a commander? I mean, I do want to see the Emperor at some point.
Oh, he'll be there.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, actually, and maybe an unpopular choice, I want to see Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn.
I thought you were going to say Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, definitely. I want a whole Gungan force. Yeah, that's a new faction there.
Gungan army could be done. I would love to see a droid force done for it.
Yeah.
Because that could look really nice on the tabletop with some of the big grav tanks and stuff.
This could be the way to redeem the original trilogy.
Possibly.
Because they had some cool visuals and ideas.
No. Not the original trilogy. Not the original trilogy.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
About to set the internet on fire.
The prequel trilogy is what I meant.
That almost went horribly wrong.
Yeah. Oh, please don't kill us.
You know Star Wars fans are rabid, right?
I'm a Star Wars fan. Yes.
Flame at him.
Yeah.
He's the one you want.
Well, we've got more Star Wars stuff. Yeah, just to placate you. More stuff from Gale Force 9. Is that right, Ben?
Yeah, so they announced last week they're doing the Galactic Warzone terrain range. So this is all part of their Ready for Battle collection. So this is all the stuff that is already pre-painted and ready to go. You just kind of have to do a little bit of flocking potentially on the basing or whatever, and they're pretty much good to go on the tabletop. They showed off some of the previews for this that's happening. The release is happening over the next 3 months or so, so bear that in mind, but we're here already. So we've got the defense turret, which is really cool, and the power generator. So if you're trying to do something set on Hoth, for example, then you've got that to sort of look forward to as well. They've also done a whole range of different desert buildings too. So if you want to try and set something on the world of Tatooine, for example, you've got some options there as well. Some of the other stuff they've been talking about that's coming in the future, sort of towards like July and August, I believe, is actually they're going to be working on some objective sets as well. There's going to be some really nice scatter terrain in terms of the way that they're going to be working on some sort of storage crates and things too. And they're also going to be doing a bunker. So if you want to try and do something on the forest moon of Endor, not Endor, the forest moon of Endor, then there is definitely going to be some kind of bunker stuff going on as well, which would be really cool to mix in. For example, with some of the stuff that Foreground are doing and that we showed off last week as well for their sort of trees and sort of rural side, countryside terrain and things. So yeah, very cool indeed.
Now, there is one thing I noticed with all of this. So the generator comes as a single component, yeah?
Yeah.
But I did read in the post, Ben, that there's an adapter piece that comes with this that actually lets you couple them in and put multiples of these together, yeah?
Yeah, so the power generator comes with the large base, as you can see there, and then it also comes with a power coupling as well. So you can pick up maybe 3 or 4 of these and build them into a larger array if you wanted to, which means that then as you're fighting and blowing up parts of the battlefield, you could remove parts of the power generator as they get destroyed, which would be kind of cool. And so yeah, you can have a very dynamic looking battlefield on the tabletop.
Nice. Very nice.
It's great to see this level of support for Star Wars Legion. I cannot wait to see people getting this stuff out and making epic tables of their own.
How many years have gamers sat there and went, you know, I wish there was a Star Wars game in 28mm. Now there is. Go play.
Yeah. I was sending this to Ben in the hobby hangout.
Yeah?
I don't care about the battles. I want pod racing.
Yes.
Yes, actually, that was...
That's what I want to see. I want to see pod racing.
Yeah. That was the best thing.
I don't... Just racing.
Yeah.
Pod... Oh, yeah, so much fun.
No matter what you think of the prequel trilogy, not the originals, the prequels, well, no matter what you think of those movies, the pod racing was epic.
Then again, Ben did point out that it would be incredibly infuriating trying to play out young Anakin.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, you could have the satisfaction of watching him crash and burn.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect.
If I had to play that, I would probably play Sebulba. I just loved his pod.
I want the.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it did give me one of the best comedy relief moments in the entire movie, which was the tiny little droid getting sucked through an engine.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and it gets up after taking stuff off, just.
Well, that's not so insane as you might think. I have a friend who owns a pet rook, and he adopted it after it got sucked through a jet engine.
Oh
It
my god.
survived?
It survived.
How do
yeah.
you survive going through a jet engine? This rook is immortal. It is one of the. It must
It's
be
a
one of
magic
Odin's.
rook, yeah.
It must be one of Odin's.
Its name is Earhart, after Amelia Earhart. And
Suitable.
yeah, it can't fly anymore, but it is hardcore.
Well, it's just sit
Wow.
there like a Vietnam vet. You weren't there, man. You weren't there.
Yeah.
On the engine day, it was so bad.
True enough. Well,
Speaking of aircraft,
yeah, good segue there. Very smooth.
Wow.
Our next news piece is about Blood Red Skies.
yes, I've fallen in love with this game so much. So has John, as you may have noticed by all the live streams.
Well, Ben, what have we got to look forward to here?
So this is a new wave of releases that came out of Warlord Games for Blood Red Sky. So it's a whole bunch of new squadron boxes for you to pick up for all the different factions in the game. So you've got the British Fire Squadron, which comes with 6 Supermarine Spitfire Mark II fighters. There's the German BF-109E Squadron, which comes with 6 Messerschmitt, the same numbers again, fighters. The US P-51 Mustang Squadron, which the same number again of Mustangs. Some Japanese A6MX Zero Sen squadron with the 6 Mitsubishi A6M50 fighters, and then there's also the Soviet Yak-1 squadron with the 6 Yakolev Yak-1 fighters as well. All of them come in the pre-colored plastics, as you can see there, but of course, if you follow some of the stuff that John's been doing on our website, including all the live stream and stuff as well, you'll want to try and get some paint down onto these models, because they are very challenging and very cool to try and paint up as well. And the game is really good fun too. We've been doing loads and loads of Let's Plays for this, so you can go and check those out on our website as well, which is very cool. So yeah, really nice to see that this game is continuing to get loads of awesome stuff coming through. Hopefully we're going to see lots more planes and even larger bomber models and things like that. Could be very cool indeed. So yeah, very cool.
And as a reminder for everybody, we did actually catch up with the guys at Warlord while we were at Salute, and we did put up a contest for a squadron box of your choice.
We did indeed.
So if you're curious, go and check it out. We were chatting with Rich. Get your comment in on that post, and you could win yourself something nice.
Yeah, the Salute contest is still running, so be
Yes.
sure to go and comment on all of those posts. Lots of good stuff being given away.
Yeah.
But-
Now, for me, the interesting bit to this release is now that we're going to start to see mixed squadrons for Blood Red Skies, because so far all we've seen is like one type of plane versus one type of plane. I want to see Spitfires and P-51s flying in on something like, say, the Messerschmitts and the Zeros flying at the same time. It's going to be very interesting to see.
I just want to start getting some bombers in there, start getting those sorts
They're
of
working
choices.
on those.
Yeah, because I think that could open up some very interesting scenarios. And I just want rules for a Captain Yossarian right now. I just want Catch-22 to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is something I'm really excited for as well, is because there are so many different aircraft that the guys at Warlord can now look at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, like, for me, it's got to be the Mosquito. I want to see the Mosquito, just because it's such a cool aircraft.
Is that the one built out of wood?
Yeah, it was built by a furniture company, I think, if I remember right.
Wait. Built out of wood?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I don't know about this. What? Tell me, what is this?
Hang on, let me-
What is this insanity?
So John told us about this yesterday. During World War or something, the British military asked for more supplies, but they didn't want to give it to them. So they went to any other industry. They were making something. They found a furniture company that made out of wood. So they're like, yeah, we'll make it out of wood.
Yeah.
Now I'm horribly butchering that. I apologise.
It's
just
the
like,
Hurricane was made out of wood as well, and it was, while the Spitfire is lauded as being one of the key fighters for the British during World War II, the Hurricane was the one that could be mended very, very quickly and got back into action So the Hurricane was actually almost the unsung hero of the British RAF during World War II.
Is it a plane or is it considered a kite?
Probably a plane because it does have an engine.
I just when you told me it was made by a furniture company,
If I remember right, yeah.
I was just imagining them flying around in an upholstered Spitfire.
Right, well, Aaron, you know the little grease gun that you see the Allies using?
No?
It's like a tiny little submachine gun. If you've played Call of Duty, you'll have seen it. Horrible, horrible little gun. Absolutely terrible. Incredibly simple construction, made by a toy company.
Really?
Yeah, just a little tin toy company. The war started and was just like, well, we better get in on the game. Let's make submachine guns.
You learn something new every week on this show.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned it a couple of times now on the show, so everybody out there's going, yeah, Justin, shut up, we've heard about it before.
Okay, I learn something new every week. Okay.
World War II has some of the craziest stories you will ever hear. History can be so much stranger than fiction.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, what's next?
Well, yeah, Ben?
So next up, we're going to be looking to the world of Hordes, and this is some new themed models that are coming out for Legion. They're coming out towards the end of May, so the last couple of weeks of May you'll be able to pick these up. And this is some of the new Blighted Ogren characters and some of the monsters as well for Legion as well. So we start off with some really cool looking stuff when it comes to Amok the Truthbringer, which is possibly my coolest model from this collection. I very, very much enjoyed the look of this one. The thing that really got me is I was learning a little bit more about the sort of background behind this guy, and that sort of that vessel that he's carrying on his shoulder actually sort of oozes like a dark miasma, and I'd love to see someone actually try and sculpt that onto the model. I think that could be really coolly done. Even if it was just done with some sort of like PVA glues and things like that, could be very interesting indeed. This leaks onto Gorag Rotteneye, who's also another very cool looking character. He had a horrible nasty infection in one of his eyes, and so he scratched and tore at it as much as possible that it sort of ripped out of his face, and now he's got like this horrible malign energy that courses through his body as he fights on the battlefield as well, which I thought was very cool indeed, and very Legion-y as well, which is very cool to see. Then we've got the model that I'm not too sold on, but I know that a lot of people also quite like, and that's Animag the Doom Feaster. And it's a little bit of a warlock to be thrown into the mix as well here. The thing that really got me about this, I wasn't too sure on the size of the head.
Yes.
A little bit too small, but I guess maybe with all the sort of mutations and everything else going around for Legion, possibly things have been a bit warped in her proportions and things like that, which would be very interesting. But yes, this then leads on to some of the strange beasts as well. So you've got the carrion birds there with the blighted rot wings, and then there's also the very large model, which is Golab, the Legion Heavy War Beast as well, which I know a lot of people have very much liked. The thing that really sold me about these as creatures was the idea that they've got this almost matted, horrible feather texture to them and everything like that, and you've got the skin showing through on all their bodies as well. So you can tell that these creatures, through the wars, they've been scurrying around on the battlefield and been torn up by weapons and all kinds of things, but they're still keeping on going, which is a very interesting side to everything we're seeing with Legion. So yeah, it's nice to see them coming out with new models and obviously looking towards new themed forces as well. So it means that you're not just getting stuck into the same kind of thing when you're playing your games of War Machine, and obviously we're going to be seeing that very, very soon as well with what happens with Kador on that side of things as well. So yeah, very cool stuff. For,
it's one thing that always jumped out at me for Legion of Everblight. The mutations are actually basically regular animals, regular people who have been infected with like dragon DNA and started to mutate into more dragon-like forms, which is why you see that blending of the bird and the dragon-esque sort of features, which just makes them look really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have an issue with the birds.
Oh, what is it?
Which one? This one or
no, the small ones.
Oh, these?
And it's not necessarily the fault of Privateer Press. It's just the bases. I always feel bad that it's maybe just a picture that's not giving it the attention it deserves, but they never look quite like birds. The only one that looks like it's on the base is the one that's mounted on the rocks.
Oh, is it the flight stands that are getting?
Yeah, I hate those flight stands, and I don't know what you could replace to make them look better. But
you see, I've seen people use like brass rod and stuff, paint it black just to like hide it as much as they can, just keep it as small as they can, but still strong. But I mean, like I think the picture here doesn't do it justice, because this is something they'll photographed on a white background and then had to trim out, so you can't really see that this is transparent, so it makes them stand out a lot more than what they should.
Yeah, I just have that issue with a lot of like things that are flying usually.
But how else do you make it fly?
Yeah, There's a magnet, maybe.
That would be so annoying. Okay, I'm moving. Damn it! It fell off. All right, give me 5 minutes yet. Find the. Where is it?
Just find the center of balance in it.
That's why I actually think that
great,
Games Workshop are doing very, very good models recently, especially for what we're seeing with the Identity Deepkin. When we're seeing a lot of these floating and flying models, they've incorporated the style of maybe, for example, the cloaks or parts of the terrain elements into that, so it looks like they're flying without the need for flying bases as well.
The visuals all actually look as if they're floating, but they're very intricately connected into the base.
Yeah, well, if you look at
Weird Games also do something very, very similar with what they've done for Malifaux as well. Like, Weird Games do some amazing models that are doing some extraordinary poses, and that's all tied into like the base. There's no clear bits or anything to sort of hold them up or anything. So
yeah, it's a very good way to give your miniatures that feel of motion with them, to put in just that point of contact. But my personal favorite of these was Amok, the Truth Bearer, that first one. But I have one problem with it right now.
Right?
Yeah. If you look at that guy, you see he's a big trollish looking dude carrying a big heavy weight.
Yeah.
I've been playing far too much God of War.
Oh yes, the giants.
Yeah.
Have you been losing your life to video games again?
Yeah, just to God of War. I haven't done it for quite a long time, but I've become addicted to God of War. I see a big trollish looking dude. I just realized I pointed at Ben. I see a big trollish looking dude carrying a big hefty weight.
Now be careful now, he'll switch from sexy to furious on you.
No, I just have the urge to rush up and hack its knees off.
Typical Hobbit tactics.
Yeah.
Where are these trolls taking these heavy objects?
I think they're like
in every like fantasy game. These trolls, they're always carrying something really heavy. Where are they taking them?
I think it's like a comfort blanket for them. You know, they have their comfort rock.
Maybe. It's a companion rock.
Yeah. There we go.
Choose something my big.
Sorry?
You could just choose a pebble.
Well, if maybe some of them do.
But maybe you have to have the biggest rock to make it the
I guess
best
maybe
rock.
over the years, maybe they've faced the enemies and realised pebbles are not a good choice. So they just use bigger rocks. They're like, oh, get out of my way.
Yeah. They want a friend rock that can also help them in a fight.
Well, look at humanity. Some of our best weapons are just really advanced rocks that we throw at each other.
It's heavier stuff.
Now, all I can think of right now is one troll with the voice of Father Jack from Father Ted just, I love my brick.
For our American brothers and sisters out there, if you've never watched Father Ted, it's a... Where would it be from? It's a British...
It's a British-made one, but it's set in Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to see the most stereotypical take on like Irish life, yeah.
It's a wonderful show.
Yeah.
And final bit of news.
Yes.
We come to a piece that I believe Lance and Ben have been rather excited to see.
And me, because I have now sort of fallen for this game and fallen in love with this game.
Excellent. Okay, Ben, tell us a little more.
Yeah, so the guys at Themeborn behind Escape the Dark Castle are going to be bringing it back onto Kickstarter on June the 1st, I believe. So it's right in time for the UK Games Expo with 3 new adventure packs for this game. Now, if anybody doesn't know, Escape the Dark Castle is a game which it plays a little bit like an old sort of fighting fantasy style game book, more like an adventure style quest game. And what you'll do is you'll flip over cards and then you'll encounter each room and you'll try and get all the way to the bottom before you fight the boss. Now, all these cards are horrifying, and you'll probably die before you get to the boss. But that's the charm of the game, and it comes with some amazing old school looking artwork and everything like that. The new announcement, however, for this, on this new Kickstarter, is going to be 3 new adventure packs. The first one of them is called Cult of the Death Knight, and this was actually available as a little bit of an add-on stretch goal for the first campaign, but it's going to be coming back again for this one. This will add in a whole bunch of new characters, and it kind of just builds on what you've already got with Escape the Dark Castle. The second of these is Scourge of the Undead Queen, and this brings in a new set of rules for the world of Escape the Dark Castle, where it adds in companions to the game. So what you'll do when you normally play is you'll just have your character and they'll have their strengths and weaknesses and you'll carry their items. This will now also add in companions that will come with you. More than likely, you're going to be throwing them in the way of enemies. I'd imagine that's how it's going to work, because Escape the Dark Castle is a nasty, nasty one indeed. But yes, that's going to be very cool indeed. The other one we heard about towards the end of this week as well was Blight of the Plague Lord. So this adds in another new boss, a whole bunch of new cards and all kinds of things like that, new characters, new dice, etc. But it also then brings in a new mechanic called the Plague. And this is going to be brought into the game through the use of Infected. So when you enter a room, there might be Infected in there. You'll roll a dice, you'll see if your character gets infected, and this will then spread amongst your adventuring group and slowly whittle you down even more. So not only are you trying to face traps, horrible monsters, and all kinds of other horrible, nasty, magical spells going off in the castle, you're also having to contend with the Plague too. So yeah, this is all coming to Kickstarter very soon, as I said, on June the 1st. So you want to check that out. And we've also got a Let's Play for this, I believe, that went up when the first Kickstarter's live.
Yeah.
So you can go check that out and see what you think. So,
The Let's Play is very atmospheric as well.
yes, it is. Yeah.
We made it with fake fire behind us.
And we should have won. We should have won that game. We figured that out after we finished playing.
I've never actually heard of this game. I'll
It's
admit.
very fun.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do?
Because you like your literature and your lore, you would really enjoy this game. It's not a game for people who like to win.
Oh,
No.
No, you will lose.
But when
all
you
the
do
time.
win,
Yeah.
you feel so good.
What I loved about this though is the artwork.
Yeah.
Because they don't try to make the game look pretty.
No.
They make it grungy, and it's almost like it's been printed, like etched on and then printed on.
Yeah.
But it's all hand drawn. Fantastic artwork, and it's so disgusting that there's no way of winning. Even if you look at the card and be like, "Oh, that's pretty," it's not. All the cards are just gruesome in their own way. That it does bring you into that world of the Dark Castle.
Yeah. Although I would love to see a Blackadder version of this.
Blackadder.
Yeah. You're getting companions. Podrick, in you go.
It's Blackadder's too comical for
Yeah.
it though.
I think it could work though. I think it could
Maybe.
be great.
I'm glad you brought up the artwork there, because second I saw that, I just thought of the old classic fighting fantasy books. There's something
Yeah.
very retro about
Yeah,
that.
Themeborn. We spoke to them last year at UK Games Expo, and that's pretty much their biggest influencers. But they wanted to take their own take on it, with the cards and dice and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Also, I'll try and dig it out and I'll put it in the show notes below this. But there is an amazing video they did for the first Kickstarter where they filmed it like an old 80s advert for like Hero Quest or something.
It should be on their
So I'll try and
Kickstarter.
dig that out and put that in. So
Oh, I love it when companies put the effort in to do something like that. It's always a laugh.
Yeah, I don't mind retro board games like this just because they do jump out and grab you.
Yeah.
Definitely one to check out when we're at Expo this year to see what they're up to.
Jump out and grab you. Literally, if what you guys have told me about the game is all good to go
When we
by.
were playing through, we were all sitting there going, okay, so which of our characters is going to flip the next card? And we're all sitting there going, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not really who do you want to have the health potion. It's pretty much like who's gonna die next.
Yeah. It's, who wants to have a bad day?
Excellent.
Yeah.
I've got to have a game of this. This sounds right on my street. Okay, that is it for the news. We're going to take an opportunity to tell you about some hubs now. And when we're back, Justin, you got to sit down with David from Godslayer. Yes?
Yeah, basically, Godslayer is now on Kickstarter for a wave 2 of releases, but we also have a prize coming up, but we'll tell you about that in the interview.
Oh,
No, you don't have to do that here.
From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com. Fight for the Iron Kingdoms as a warcaster. Take control of the mighty jacks, arcane devices, and dark sorceries to bring the fight to the War Machine Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Okay, everybody, I've been joined by David from Megalith Games to talk, well, obviously, Godslayer. So, we're going to give you a quick introduction to the world and have a quick chat about what's happening with the Kickstarter you guys have online at the moment. Yes?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, first things first, what is the basic backstory for Godslayer? Because this is a game that's been out since 2006?
2012.
Oh,
End of
2012. Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not that old. So
Hang on. This year I turned 32. I'm feeling the age. The knees are starting to go, man. Oh. Okay, so Godslayer, details. Come on. The
okay,
world.
so basically, we wanted to stay away from high fantasy and Renaissance. So I created a world which is based around low fantasy, it's set in a kind of Bronze Age mythological world. So all of the cultures in the world are based on some kind of classical or ancient culture on Earth. So we have kind of like a Greek-style faction, Roman-style faction, but everything has a twist. So the Greeks are like god worshippers and have a lot of magic.
Of course.
The Roman-style faction have undead and alchemy.
Ooh, necromancy.
Yeah. So that's the basic idea, the basic concept of the game. The world has it's actually there's about 9 worlds, and they're flat, essentially flat chunks of rock floating in space.
Okay.
The game takes place on one of these worlds called Caladorn, and most of the action right now is in the continent of Gorn. So there are all of the 6 factions. Now, basic background of the story is the creation goddess, Danya, was murdered by demons, and at the moment of her death, her soul shattered and was scattered across the cosmos.
Okay.
And these portions of her god essence are trapped in the moment of her death.
Right.
So adventurers can find these celestial vortexes, enter them, and try to consume the god anima which is inside.
Ah, I see.
But it's rather risky because the anima is trapped in the moment of its death, so it can drive whoever is trying to consume it mad.
You know, I say eccentric when people call me mad, but okay.
Yeah. So it's a very dangerous path, but by doing so, a person can be elevated to the level of a god.
You know, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
So it's attractive, but only the greatest heroes in the world are able to achieve it, and they're called god questers.
Okay, and so the main leaders of our different warbands, then they are all god questers?
No, not all of them, but some of them are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start working through the 6 main factions that are currently there. So who do we have?
So first of all, we have Banebrood.
Okay.
That's.
Oh, do we have them here?
Okay.
This first one. So this is our Banebrood. Who are these guys?
So Banebrood are essentially beastmen and barbarians.
Okay.
But again, it has a twist. There is this cosmic force of primal fury called the Urgast, and this all of the Banebrood were infected by this thing in eons past. It was a kind of psychic virus which spread across the world.
Okay.
And the ones who survived it and were still infected became the forerunners of the Banebrood.
I see.
It warped them mentally and physically.
I see, and that's what we're seeing here with we've got an Ursa pine at the front here, which seems to be a cross between a gigantic bear and a porcupine.
Yeah.
We've got a shaman who doesn't look altogether human, and then we've got some very demon-esque sort of characters who have been twisted and shaped in different ways. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and what's the main driving force behind the faction?
So they are when the Urgast is also a kind of magical force, and it swells, and there are pools of it, and when it comes across, it inflames them and makes them enraged and furious, and then they go on a rampage. Their primary goal is to destroy civilization, because they believe that nature, in its truest form, is the law of the jungle, the survival of the strongest, and they hate civilization because it's a twisted corruption of nature.
Well, yeah, I suppose I can see how that would be. You see, I can't say good or evil on this, because there's no way to say nature is evil. I mean, like, a tornado hits, that's not evil, that's just Mother Nature saying hello. Right.
This is the kind of darker side, the more violent side of nature.
Yeah.
So that's what they embrace.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Would we jump to our next image, yeah?
Yep. So
Okay.
Halodines.
Okay, so who are the Halodines?
Halodines are our kind of fantasy Greek faction,
Mm-hmm.
and they worship the gods.
Mm-hmm.
A pantheon who grant them quite strong magical powers.
Of course.
So every faction in Godslayer has 3 sub-factions.
Okay.
So they're made up of the city-states,
Mhm.
who are traditional kind of Greek hoplites,
Yeah.
hill ogres, and models like that. Then we have the temple sub-faction.
Mm-hmm.
They are they're the primary worshippers of the gods, and they have temple warriors and Cerberus and other mythological creatures. And then the third sub-faction is the Amazons,
Okay.
and they are mounted nomadic tribes.
Ah, I see. And in the image here, who all are we seeing? Because I'm seeing what I can guess are some hoplites.
Here's a god quester,
In the middle.
Halodine god quester.
Yes.
Here's a priestess.
On the left. Yeah.
Yep. This over here is a centaurk,
Uh huh.
and you can see the Cerberus up top right.
Yeah. Very nice take on Cerberus.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, whenever they imagine Cerberus, they imagine this big, huge, gigantic creature. Doesn't have to be that. You know, it's a nice take on it.
Yeah.
And what are the main driving forces behind this faction then? What is their sort of, you know, ethos that drives them forward?
Okay, so the gods created a pawn on Earth who was their emperor,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
And he spread their culture across the world.
I see.
But that was about 1,000 years ago, and since then it's collapsed,
Ah.
and they're kind of fractured nations and religious states,
Okay.
kind of like the successor states of after Alexander.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mix of like ancient Greek, classical Greek, and Macedonian style.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well,
So they were a glorious culture. They've fallen, but now they're kind of making a resurgence as well.
I see. And is that due to the god questers within the faction themselves who are going out attempting to regain this godly power?
Yeah, partly that, and because the gods have a new group of hero spirits has entered the cosmos and is now been born and come of age.
Oh, I see. I see. Very interesting faction. This one is one that I'm actually quite curious about because I do love my ancient Greek like movies and stories and stuff like that, the Greek tragedies, things like that. I've really been delving deep into those recently. Let's see who we have next. Who is this faction?
That's Banebrood again.
Ah, more Banebrood. Is this new Banebrood?
Yes, that's coming with the Kickstarter.
Ah, okay.
So I can tell you a little. This is the starter box for Banebrood.
Ah, okay. And who all are we seeing within the image?
So this is the Bale King.
Okay, big guy in the middle.
Yep, he's a bit like a super Cyclops.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting, you know, Eye of the Beholder sort of vibes just from the face there.
Right. He's based on Celtic Balor myth.
Yeah. And then around him, who do we have?
These are Fomorian Gorguard.
Uh-huh.
They come with 2 weapons, or they come with shield and weapon.
Nice. And the guy on the balcony?
Yeah, that's the Stormhorn Stagator.
Uh-huh.
He's a frenzied berserker beastman.
Rocking around with twin axes? Yeah, that's got to be a berserker right there. Kind of gives it away with the twin axes. Okay, moving along, do we have more original, or is this another new one?
This is new Halodine subfaction.
Uh-huh.
So starter box coming out in the Kickstarter. We have Amazon Pathfinder character, the Matriarch, a new warlord for the faction, and the Amazon Peltists unit.
I see. I'm getting real mixed vibes of like Roman and Greek feelings to this. Would this be correct? Just from what I'm seeing, some of the designs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Very, very cool. I love some of the new poses and stuff you're throwing here. There's a nice sense of motion to them. Then, is this more new stuff, or are we on older stuff?
This is Morton's.
Morton's.
So this is the starter box for the Mortons. Now this faction is the Godslayer equivalent of Romans. So they have a sub-faction which is essentially legions and kind of like ancient Rome. But there's also 2 other sub-factions. the Technostratum,
Mm-hmm.
which are alchemists.
Mm-hmm.
So they use poison, fire, tar, acid, gas, all of these weapons.
The lovely, lovely sciences of war.
Yeah. Now, I deliberately kept it out of steampunk.
Mm.
It's all technically feasible.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Romans were messing around with a lot of technology at the time.
Yeah.
They just didn't get this far.
Well, it's nice to take what would have been the original concept and see the progression. I mean, like, even Leonardo da Vinci designed a tank.
Right.
You know, the Romans might have done it if they'd been allowed to continue.
Yeah, that's true. So third subfaction with the Romans is the undead.
Uh-huh.
This is made up of necromancers called mortifexes and necromagi, and they have undead constructs put together from different monsters, and also undead legions. So if a legion is dishonored, flees the battlefield or something like that, they can be ritually executed and raised as undead to serve the emperor in the afterlife.
Okay, so note to self, if I'm ever in the Roman legions, don't run. Okay, they sound like a very cool faction. I'm loving the very classical Roman designs we're seeing here, but I am seeing some twist to it. There's a lot more chainmail I'm seeing on the sculpts than I would have imagined the originals would have had.
Well, yeah, if you go, it depends on the period.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the traditional kind of lorica segmentata.
Yeah.
This was only in use for about 150 years.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody's sure to correct me on that.
But you see, here's the thing. You're going historical.
Yeah.
But it's your history, so what you say goes.
Yeah. So these are provincial auxiliaries. So they're not as well equipped as the legionaries. The Morton legionaries, they do have the lorica segmentata, but these are auxiliaries, so we dress them a little bit differently.
Okay.
And up at the top there, you can see the prefect, auxiliary prefect, and the cornican, who is the musician.
Oh, I see. Okay, next one then. Who do we have here?
So this is Nordgard. Now, Nordgard is our Viking faction.
Vikings, you say?
Yes. Not just regular Vikings. They have dwarves.
Dwarves, you say?
Yes.
Getting more sold.
So Viking humans, Viking dwarves, Viking ogres, Viking giants.
Nice.
Yeah.
And well, this faction, what is the driving force for them?
Well, they were created by two demigod brothers. One of whom was chose to go the dwarven side, and one who chose to go the mortal side.
Ah, I see.
And they founded this kingdom, which was made up of both dwarves and humans and ogres. So they're like the Halidines. They're worshipping some gods, but they're not so deep into the gods.
Okay,
they're more into the steel.
Well, you know, a good bit of iron never does anybody a bit of harm.
Yeah. So they have dwarves who have the highest technology in metallurgy.
Yeah.
But we're not going like the usual typical dwarven direction.
Yeah.
It's very much in Viking dwarves.
I kind of like the vibe that you would get from Viking dwarves, because that's where the original mythology for a dwarf comes from.
Exactly.
And if I remember correctly, dwarves weren't always short in Norse mythology. They were actually more human-esque looking, which was actually something quite interesting. Now, I do love the designs that I'm seeing here.
Okay.
You've got some very classical Viking, like helmets and armor and pieces going on.
Yeah.
But the central character at the front here with the raven cloak, with the ravens flying off it, is very, very cool.
Yeah, so this is the Raven Witch Spirit Seer. This is the starter box for Wave 2 coming in the Kickstarter.
Okay.
These are Viking ogres here.
Ah.
So these are 50mm miniatures.
Nice.
Yeah. Over there you have the Godslayer Captain. He's like a kind of guy who roams around and takes up for a different jarl whenever he likes and does his dirty work.
Okay, so he's basically Viking for hire.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Awesome.
And these are regular Huskarls in the back. The Spirit Seer, Raven Witch, is spellcaster for the faction.
And I'm hoping we're going to see lots of nicely tuned like ice spells and stuff from this faction.
Yeah, there will be stuff like that.
Nice.
It's also pretty much kind of Norse mythological spirit magic.
Nice.
Because they had a lot of spirits. Yeah, we're going in that direction.
That's going to be quite cool. All right, next up. Ooh, we've got
Troglodytes.
They've got a bit of an oriental feel to these.
Yeah, these are based on Mongols for the design. So troglodytes, there are different elemental races in the world. So earth, fire, water, and
Air.
Yep. And a fifth element, shadow.
Ah, okay.
So shadow is the balancing element, and it turns out that humans are a dangerous, perilous threat to the balance of the cosmos.
Wait, humans are dangerous?
Oh, yes.
Never. We would never be dangerous, would we, everybody?
So
Yeah,
they have to be culled.
Ah, okay.
Right. So they're not a very formalized faction. It's they don't have like, it's not a fake kind of ridiculous thing. It's just their background philosophy that humans need to be culled. Yeah, because they're a threat.
Of course.
They've been around for thousands of years before humans were even created. So we decided to go with Mongol style for them.
Yeah.
These are the standard trolls. We also have kind of feral trolls without armor and a bit more crazed. Then there's gnolls, which is our kind of goblinoid sub-faction. And also shadow trolls. Shadow trolls. They're more elemental. So these are shadow elemental creatures, but the shadow trolls are more elemental. So they more recently come into the cosmos from the plane of shadow.
I see. Well, I mean, like, the design for these is really nice, and it's nice to see someone taking trolls. Because I mean, I imagine a troll. I don't think fine craftsmanship or anything like that. I'm imagining barbarian when I think troll.
Okay.
So to actually see something with really nice craftsmanship and stuff to the armor, the weapons, something that actually feels like there's a full-on high society culture behind it all is quite nice.
Yeah, it's a rather feudal society, and they have a warrior code and things like that. And there's also a nomadic side to it, to the tribes as well, but that's mostly for the gnolls.
Nice. All right, and then we have one more image here. Who are these guys?
So this is the Wild Folk. That's our Celtic style faction. This is the starter box for Wave 2 coming in Kickstarter. We have the Warlord here. And he's a God Quester.
Of course.
We have the Riastrad Warp Warrior.
Okay, the big dude?
Yeah, so this is based on the Irish legends of Cuchulainn.
It's Cuchulainn.
Oh, sorry.
The pronunciation.
Good.
No, it's all right. I got called out recently. I got what was it? Oshin, I think was the actual pronunciation of a legendary warrior from the Irish Cycles. Got the name wrong on camera. I am ashamed. I'm Irish. I should know this. Apologies.
Well, I feel fine being corrected in Ireland on an Irish name. It's okay.
They are very cool looking. Are they based on the Fianna?
Yeah, partly. I mean, these guys are Woad brothers, and they have this barbed spear. Yeah. Which is also from Irish legend.
I'm looking for a shillelagh and not seeing one.
So they also have 3 sub-factions. The first one is the general typical tribes, which is what these guys mostly are. And they are rather more the shootiest faction, let's say.
Ooh.
Wild Folk. They're not just shooting though. They do like ambushes and melee as well. Like ancient Celtic culture did.
Of course.
Yeah. So we have the tribal subfaction. Then there's the Fëanor, which is the shootiest subfaction. They're kind of nomadic. And they have all armed with bows or some kind of missile weapon.
Slingshot will do.
Yep. So the third subfaction is the Tuathan. And they are dedicated to the rebirth of the goddess, the creation goddess. So part of her essence filtered down into the spiritual anima force, which is within nature. So all of the wild folk are kind of nature worshippers. Nature worshipping Celtic shooty people, let's say.
Okay.
But the Tuathan are the extremists, so they bind their souls to nature, and they are reborn, and they have three different aspects. There's birth, growth, and death. So there are death warriors, there are life priestesses, and there are change warriors like this guy, Hulan.
Yes, you got it.
Exactly. The Riastrad are the metamorphic people of that subfaction.
Okay, I would be very curious to get a go with these. So I'm very curious about these now. Now, we do actually have some of the miniatures here in the studio with us. So if we can, could you maybe pick out some of the cool new ones that are coming for the Kickstarter? Because I assume the main thrust for the Kickstarter is to expand the ranges for the different factions, yeah?
Right. So, we've seen them all on the screen.
Oh, but there's nothing that beats actually having a miniature in your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's not metal.
No, that one's resin.
So is there a mixture of metal and resin coming in the Kickstarter, or are you going to get mostly resin?
It's 98% metal.
Okay.
Yeah. So only the big creatures are resin.
Okay. All right. Well, this is our guy here. So, oh yes, the paint job on these is lovely. Did you do the paint yourself, or did you reach out to a firm?
Yes, we have painters.
Very, very nice work. So who is this guy again?
That's the Bale King. So he's warlord for the Bane Brood, and he has three different profile cards. So he can be a warlord for each of the subfactions.
That's very nice to have. Okay, and next we have this guy?
Stormhorn Stagator, the Berserker.
I love the proportions that you have between the weaponry and the actual creature itself, because the weapons are just about in the right scale. And then you imagine this guy is bigger than the average human, so there is just that little bit there. Okay, this feels like it was properly made for him. Okay, who else do we have that would be very cool to show off?
Okay, so this.
Oof, yes.
I also have few from the existing range.
Okay, well if we want to show some of the existing too. So this was our big change warrior. And you see what I mean about the proportion? This feels like on an everyday he might be a normal-sized human, so he carries normal-sized human weapons, but then he changes and all of a sudden his weapons are a little bit dinky in his hands.
That's his human form.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so you get both models in the box. One is the regular human form, and this is the warped form.
I see. I love just how you've actually played with the proportions of the weapons from whenever he's normal to whenever he is in full.
Right. As you can see, he's got exactly the same weapons.
Yeah, the weapons are the exact same scale.
Yeah.
That's really, really nicely done. And then you've tossed me this character. Oh, I'm seeing a Banshee here.
That's a Banshee. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the most terrifying creatures of Irish legend for me, because my grandparents used to talk about them. And then, oh, hello.
So that's one of the warlords from Wave 1. That's one of the Tuathan guys, the Death Priest. Called
very nice.
Lord of Decay.
Love the amount of detail that you've managed to cram in on the miniature. And then, so, for the Kickstarter, just for my own curiosity, what are the main points of what you're trying to achieve with it?
Okay, so Godslayer's been building steadily for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
But we never really had the resources to create enough releases fast enough to make the game take off.
Yeah.
But now it's been 4 years, we have a really good range of stuff already now available. So I think it's the right time to kick it into the next gear.
Yeah. So
Kickstarter will make the game more accessible and better known. We're doing quite a bit of advertising.
Of course.
It's releasing a battle box for the game.
So is this a 2-player starter kit?
Yep. Okay, so it consists of the rulebook.
Yeah. Is this right here?
Yeah, that's what it'll look like.
So who versus who?
So it's Hallodynes versus Banebrood.
Okay.
So if you look at the Let's Play videos we shot.
Yeah, I believe we've shown a round breakdown at this point, and we have a Let's Play in the can that will be going out later.
Right. So that is essentially what you get in this box.
I
see. The only things that we added was the animated statue and Cyclops.
Ah,
Everything else on the table was in this box.
I see. I see. So basically, everything you need to play in one box is what you're aiming at with this.
Two complete warbands
Mm-hmm.
and the rulebook.
Nice. Very nice. And I assume all of the stat cards and stuff you need as well, or are those going to be like stretch goals?
Yeah, no, all the stat cards are in there, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and an easy start rules and play sheet. So everything you need.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then, so you're building on this,
Mhm.
and then you're building on each faction and expanding in, and we've seen some
That's
of those
right.
in the images that
Yeah.
we've had.
So as you saw in the images,
Mm-hmm.
we're releasing a Wave 2 starter box for all of the 6 factions.
Oh, I see.
So that's bringing also a lot of new models.
Yeah.
And then, in addition to that, we have special deals for the Wave 1. So, as I mentioned, every faction has 3 sub-factions.
Yeah.
So we have a deal for each sub-faction.
I see.
So we have,
Do I have images of this?
Yep.
Those.
those.
Let's have a look.
Mhm.
So this is the Wave 1 deals then.
Yeah. So as you can see, this is the Banebrew deals here.
Yeah, on the
We've
left.
got 3 different sub-factions.
Uh-huh.
And each one has a warlord
Mm-hmm.
with a unique profile card, which
Ah.
is being previewed first on Kickstarter.
Oh, I see.
So it's like the regular warlord profile card,
Mm-hmm.
but they're an actual person from the Godslayer universe, a
Yes.
personality, and they have slightly different skills
Yeah.
and talents and statistics.
I see.
So it's a new take on the existing warlords. It makes them, it's a completely new model to be played.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Right. So and these are available for the moment only in the Kickstarter.
I see.
So anyone who hasn't gotten into Godslayer yet,
Yeah.
this is a perfect way to start. Get one of these.
Yeah. So this is your
one of
perfect
these-
jump-off point.
Get one of these deals.
Yeah, this is one thing I like for games is whenever they give you really simple jump off points. There are a number of times I've looked at games in the past where I get really confused whenever I'm looking to jump in. So having something that's just a complete package that I can say, okay, I love the look of that, let's grab that, and off we go.
Yep.
Is really nice to have.
Any one of these deals is a
Yeah.
perfect package to start with.
Mm-hmm. And then, so this is being brewed on the left. Who's on the right?
This is the Haladine's 3 sub-faction deals.
Uh-huh.
So normally this is the Demarcon warlord.
Uh-huh.
This guy is Tarcules the Avenger.
Uh-huh.
He's a special character in Godslayer background.
Mm-hmm.
And the Oracle of Arcadia and Andromeda of Seraphia.
Oh, I see. Now, you see, for them, if I was going to grab one of these, I'd be kind of biting my knuckle, because I see the animated statue in one of them, but I'm seeing, like, Amazon warriors in the other with hoplites.
Right.
So, what should I get?
Yeah, you should get both.
Oh, so that's how it is.
That's the perfect way to start.
Okay, so the next ones, who do we have here?
Okay, so we have Wave 1 Banebrood sub-factions.
Uh-huh.
So this is Morton's,
Uh-huh.
right? This is the undead. So you have this the creature here,
Yes.
undead creature called the Moloch,
Uh-huh.
Legio Mortem, 2 Necromagi, and the Mortifex.
Uh-huh.
Then we got the Technostratum and the Legions. Over here, Nordgard,
Yeah.
3 sub-factions. This one is the Dwarven Guilds,
Mm-hmm.
Humans and Ogres, and Dwarven Clans.
Mm-hmm. I would have to say, out of the ones here, it would be the dwarven one that would be really tempting me, just because dwarven at heart. Have you seen the beard? Okay, and then our last 2 here.
Okay, so this is the Wild Folk,
Mm-hmm.
the Theanar sub-faction deal,
Uh-huh.
and the Tuathan sub-faction deal, and the Tribal sub-faction deal.
Okay.
Each, again, with a special, unique personality warlord with
Yep.
its own card, which has never been released before.
Mm-hmm. And then the final one.
This is the Troglodytes.
Ah.
Okay, so typical trolls.
Yep.
The gnolls, which is our kind of goblins, and these are the shadow trolls.
I love the elemental feel you've got to the warlord and the sort of heroes there.
Mhm.
Very, very cool. Nice.
So also coming in the Kickstarter, we've got a new sub-faction.
Mm-hmm. Wait, another faction?
Yes.
Oh, you have me curious, sir.
We have more coming, but the next one being released now is Mercenaries. So these guys, of course, can be used with any faction together with them.
Nice. So basically, this is if you're already into Godslayer and you want to grab something completely different, go after these guys. Yeah.
Or you can use them as your own, as a standalone subfaction.
That's nice to have.
Yeah. So they're coming out as stretch goals. Then we also have lots of other stuff as stretch goals, avatars, which are really high-powered miniatures for larger games.
Okay, and are they someone who's actually consumed some of the gods' power, or...?
No, they're representatives of the gods.
Okay.
Yeah. And they only have one turn of activation. So they appear on the board.
Yeah.
They have one turn, but they are pretty devastating in that one turn. So they're definitely worth their points.
So you have essentially put in a nuclear weapon into everybody's arsenal.
Yeah, but of course it's completely balanced. So
of course.
Don't worry about that.
Well, if everybody has them.
No. I mean, the thing is, it's only usable for one round.
Yeah, and I'm guessing you're having to pay out the points to take care of it.
Of course. It's a high points model.
Yeah.
To use for one round.
Yeah.
So it's just a little fun for large games. You can only use them in games which are 500 points or more. So it's completely 100% balanced. Don't worry about that.
Okay, and what is the average point size that you would like to play your games of Godslayer?
Yeah, I typically play 350 to 450 points. The larger, the better.
Yeah.
Up to, let's say, 500. That's a nice 3-hour game.
Okay.
Once you know the rules.
Yeah.
And you're familiar with the models. You can play with just a few models. 100 points. 160 points is the Wave 1 starter box level. What's common in tournaments is 300 points.
Okay, nice.
So, but if you want like an afternoon game, then you want to play like 450, 500 points.
Cool. All right, well, I have a question for you. Something I always ask, and I'm sure everybody at home knows what I'm about to ask. We always love giving away prizes on the shows whenever we're talking about new games and giving people a chance to get into new games. Right. So, would you perhaps be interested in giving something away for everybody?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, what would you like?
We'll be giving away starter boxes and rulebooks.
Okay, what? 2-player starter bundle, or?
We can do a 2-player starter bundle.
Okay.
And we can do 2 starter boxes and rulebooks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 prizes total?
3. That's 3 total.
3? Oh.
Yeah. So a starter box.
Learn to count,
Justin. 1 battle box.
Okay.
Right. The 2-player big.
Oh, you're gonna give away that? Okay.
Yeah, one of those.
Okay.
2 starter boxes and rulebooks.
Okay. Awesome. Everybody, if you're going to want to win, get your comments in below. I tell you what, I know exactly what to ask everybody to comment on for this one. Tell us your favorite mythical sort of ancient society that you would love to see turn up in Godslayer in the future, because I'm sure you would love to hear what people would love to see.
Yeah, we have some plans. We have stuff in the pipe.
Ooh,
two new factions, in fact.
Don't be a tease.
So, one is Stygians. That's the kind of evil creatures from Greek mythology. So, Medusas and various Gorgons and lots and lots of different monstrous creatures. So they're worshippers of darkness. Then we also have our next faction will be Fantasy Persians.
Okay, cool.
Godslayer Persians.
Okay, that could be very, very cool. I'm curious because the way you design your miniatures is very, very nice. I love the way the designs work and the flow of them. So I'm curious to see how you bring that from imagination to concept to actual miniature on the tabletop. Yeah,
I was very impressed with 300. Visually, so
I'm seeing.
So it might be going in somewhat in that direction.
Okay, I can dig it. All right, well, David, thank you very much for joining us. Is there anything?
My pleasure.
Is there anything we forgot?
No, we covered it all.
All right, well, everybody, you know what to do. Get into those comments if you would like to win yourself some Godslayer goodies. We will move on. We'll see you again another time.
Hello, I'm Carlos from Corvus Belli Infinity, and you're watching The Weekender on beastofwar.com.
Okay, so that's 3 epic prizes. This is definitely a Kickstarter you want to check out, because I've had the opportunity now to sit down and actually play the game. It's really cleverly designed with a turnabout sort of activation thing, but you can activate like 2 units in a row, so you have a little more tactical flexibility, and pushing the amount of resource you're putting into your actions works really nicely.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see the integration of mythology and the ancient cultures and everything.
Well,
I absolutely love that.
They've got the Fianna. That's all I have to say. They've got the Fianna.
Okay, I'm up for that.
Yeah. Well, they even have a Cuchulainn character who has like 2 forms in the game.
Good. Wait, does his second form have his feet reversed, one eye popping from his skull?
No, think being.
So
he goes from normal dude to big dude.
Yeah. Now, proper Cuchulainn was really monstrous. Glorious.
I feel left out because I haven't edited anything in Godslayer, so I know nothing about the game.
I'm just geeking over Irish mythology, so...
Yeah. Although I will admit I do love the Greek faction and just how they play on the tabletop, because they have some of the best magic in the game.
Oh,
even
wonderful.
if they have, I think it's them that have the left-handed spearmen that people are on about.
Are they left-handed, Lance?
Or did someone flip the video?
They're not left-handed.
Yes.
We were being artistic.
What?
That made me laugh to see the number of comments that got.
Yeah, but it's a thing that we deal with, and it's not a big issue.
No.
If you want to see the miniatures and stuff in the true proportions and true to form, go and click the links and stuff. We add them into.
Yeah, you can check out the Kickstarter, which I believe is running now.
It is live at the moment, and I do have it on screen for everybody right here. So, if you want to just take a quick scan through it, blood and bronze. So, they've got some stretch goals on the go, but what they're really aiming to do, hey, there's us.
Hey!
is add a whole range of new miniatures to the game. So, a lot of these just look absolutely gorgeous, and I was so happy to actually get a nice close-up look at some of the beautifully painted stuff that they've got there. What else we got here? So this is some of the options you have. These are some of the boxes we're having a look at in the interview. And yeah, definitely just go check it out, everybody. It is a great one. And it's one of those games, it's a heavier war game, but if you drop yourself into it, you're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And that segues us very smoothly into the Kickstarters.
Ta-da!
We're almost professionals. Almost.
Dude, I've been professional for like the last 6 months.
It's because I make you look good.
Yeah, we're entirely dependent on Lance here.
No, come on. It's 1,000,000 degrees in here, man.
Why do you think I wear heavy hoodies? They keep the heat out.
What?
What? I think you done science wrong.
No.
Ben, you want to kick us off with the first Kickstarter?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is actually a little bit of an update, and this is from Mantic Games for Hellboy, the board game. And this is they were actually going to be working on a limited edition one print run expansion called Hellboy Goes to Mexico, right? So this is an expansion where Hellboy goes to Mexico and he gets done up as a luchador, drinking all the tequila, having the Cinco de Mayo fun and the taco bowls and stuff, right? Yeah. Hangs around with his wrestler friends and fights vampires and the undead conquistadors. So if you wanted to have a little bit more fun with the world of Hellboy and go a little bit crazy, then you can go and check out the whole range of new models they've been doing for this. They are looking very fun indeed. The thing I was thinking was like a new version of From Dusk Till Dawn, where Hellboy and his friends are trapped in a bar somewhere, like a luchador bar, and the zombies and the vampires and everything is trying to come through the windows and everything like that, and they're trying to hold them off as best they can. I think that could be very, very cool indeed. Mantic Games have been doing absolutely amazing with their Hellboy board game. They've been unlocking stretch goals for days, loads of expansions. The actual core pledge that you work for gets you loads and loads of different models and things like that as well. And there's some very, very, very good Let's Play content on their Kickstarter page as well, talking a little bit more about the game and showing off all the mechanics and stuff. And it seems very cool indeed. The whole sort of like almost legacy style to the way that you develop cases and things is very cool. So check this one out. There's a really cool expansion for it, and of course there is the main game for you to get stuck into as well. So yeah,
I am very excited to see this.
Yeah,
game.
my mouse has been hovering over the pledge button for a little while.
Yeah, mine too.
It's not going to be. I need to eat. It's not going to be From Dusk Till Dawn unless they have the crotch gun. Though.
Yeah, I was about to say that how much cooler would From Dusk Till Dawn have been with luchadors in there as well.
Or just Hellboy in it.
Just Hellboy.
Yeah.
Just From Dusk Till Dawn, the unofficial prequel to Hellboy.
Yeah.
I think Hellboy. I think Red would have loved the little crotch gun. I think that would have been an awesome addition.
Yeah, you can just imagine him standing in front of the actor. The crotch gun opens up, and he's just like, "Yeah, mine's bigger," pulling out his own one.
Yeah.
I want to see this now. Someone get in touch with Del Toro or whoever has it now. Yes. Caesar can make it so. Make it so. Okay. Next one, we have Darwin's Choice. What's this one about, Ben?
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a lighter, a more sort of friendly Kickstarter, I guess. A lovely little board game, this one. This one's by Treacher, and it's by a trio of 3 guys who are working on this game for 2 to 6 players, where you create your own species and you try and get them to survive through the annals of history, take them through the steps of evolution. What you'll do at the beginning of the game is you'll get a whole bunch of beautifully hand-drawn, amazing artwork pieces that will create your characters, these little tiny creatures and stuff, and then you'll try and place them into environments on the tabletop which will help them thrive and develop as you go through. However, as with all things, evolution is not a kind mistress, and things are going to change, environments are going to change and warp and things like that. Temperatures will rise and they'll drop and all the kinds of different things as well, and you'll have to try and keep your species alive for as long as possible to develop Darwin points, which is kind of like your victory points in the game. If you manage to lose one of your creatures, that's terrible. You'll lose all your Darwin points but one, and you'll have to try and start all over again to try and get back onto the tabletop and create a winning species. The thing for this that really sold it for me was the artwork and how the mechanics play out on the tabletop. I really like the idea of having to try and create your fun-looking creature at the very beginning, and then taking it through the different steps of going through the different parts of the environment, developing it as you go, changing things, evolving the creature to make sure that it fits into a new environment and things like that as well. And yeah, this one's just a nice little one to go and check out if you want to try something that's a little bit lighter on the tabletop. And as I say, the artwork for this is looking absolutely wonderful. The guys that have worked on this I've done a lot of playtesting, so they've gone through a lot of different reams of the rules as well, and there are a whole bunch of videos on there for you to go and check out and look into the game in a little bit more detail. But yeah, a nice one to check out that's a little bit different from what you might normally see. So,
okay, one quick question. The currency that's on this Kickstarter has me a little confused. CHF? What is CHF?
I don't know.
Well, it says about £15, £15.
Oh, it's Swiss.
There we go.
Okay,
it's
Swiss currency.
There we go.
So if you're trying to convert this into your own local currency, it's from Swiss.
There we go.
Yeah, I think it looks like a lot of fun. This could be a real laugh, putting together these strange contraptions. Contraptions?
Warren can make his land shark.
Combinations.
He can, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the one that caught my eye, if you go back to the Kickstarter, there was a piece of art with...
I know the one.
Yeah, a bunch of them.
Yes.
Yeah. That guy in the bottom corner, a buffalo tortoise.
Well, I'm seeing a rhino, crocodile, ostrich, crab shark.
What about the butterfly elephant?
Yeah, and the giraffe snake.
Yeah. Or the shrimp rabbit.
Shrimp rabbit? Oh, yeah!
These just remind me of like playing in high school. We used to play a game where you get someone to fold a piece of paper.
Oh, yes.
And you draw each torso, and then at the end you reveal it to see what you've created. So it could be someone like a lion's head, and then like a hipster's body and crocodile feet.
Wait, did you say a hipster's body?
Yes.
A lion, hipster, crocodile?
Yep.
I love
They'd
this.
love that.
He was eating people before it was cool.
These were great games that we played during our history classes in high school.
Yeah, this is why we were both very silent, very quiet during the Blood Red Skies segment.
Yeah. I was too busy playing games.
Yeah, and they said that would never get us anywhere. Yeah. Look at us now!
Oh, hey, you've seen my handwriting. My English teacher used to despair over me, saying, "Justin, if you can't write, what are you going to do? Use a PC?"
Okay,
the next Kickstarter, though.
Yeah, the last one. Pirates! Pirates! Ben, tell us about the pirates!
Okay, so this is Skull Tales.
Pirate voice, man!
Yeah.
This is Skull Tales Full Sail Wire Clips Editorial.
That's more like
plays with between 1 to 5 players in a semi-cooperative nature. And what you'll be doing is you'll be playing through the game, playing either one-off missions or as part of a campaign mode, if you prefer that kind of salty dog.
Where are you going, Ben?
I don't know.
You're in what? He's in Dublin. Oh God, he's in Dublin.
You sound like you're from
the accent from Dublin. No.
Now you're in Wales.
But anyway, I'm gonna get back to it and be a bit more Bristolian about it. But there's part of a voice. God Let's get back to it in normal English. Anyway, yes. So
Yeah, that's the
English is
best.
not normal.
That's the best pirate one there. Right, do it. It's a Brummy pirate.
the Rummy pilot. Right, so we're going to go and involve myself in a voyage phase first, which includes you managing your crew, exploring the map, gaining confidence of the crew, and working all together to try and decide what you're going to do. Then you go off exploring to an adventure phase, and this is where you go and explore islands, interact with different tribes, pillage villages, and act like a proper pirate would do in these romantic settings. And then you've got the port phase at the very end, which is where you go and spend all the money that you've just earned, upgrade your characters and upgrading your ship, and play through different cool events that will start to add to the game as it goes on. Now, this game, if anyone's played something like, for example, Merchants and Marauders, which is a very, very big sprawling game, a little bit in this kind of vein, this takes things to another level. What you'll be doing with this is very, very heavily involved with almost like a kind of role-playing aspect to things. And if you played games a little bit like, I want to say Pandemic Legacy, while it doesn't have legacy elements to it, a lot of the feel for this game comes in that sort of same direction, where it's all about sort of working together to try and decide what you're trying to do, but also working towards your own solo objectives at the same time. So, for example, the person who's playing the captain of the crew, or for example, things like that, it's going to have a very different idea of what they want to do compared to everybody else at the tabletop. And of course, you'll be going off into different environments, fighting tribesmen on different lands and things like that, and doing things that probably we should all forget. But in case, as well as that, of course, you'll be doing interesting things, and you'll be working against each other at the same time. So maybe you'll be fighting against the captain at some point and then working together at other points as well. You've got to balance all this apart against sort of the booty that you bring home as well. Also working towards keeping the crew happy, which is one of the big aspects of this game as it comes together on the tabletop. So one of the big things is that the crew will sort of lose confidence in you if you start to lose battles. Maybe you don't bring enough pillaging home and things like that. So you're going to have to sort of weigh up how to use those guys on the tabletop as well. The game also comes with a whole bunch of amazing looking miniatures, as you can see, and the artwork for all the tiles is looking very cool as well indeed. So yeah, if you like the idea of doing some sort of piratical sailing around the Caribbean, this might be for you. So there.
I believe this is for me. I think this is for me.
It's very tempting. The one thing I would wish they would do is maybe throw in a stretch goal to make metal coins. Because any pirate game I play, I have a set of metal, sort of like doubloon coins I got with a limited edition game.
Yeah.
I always use them in any pirate game just because they feel and sound so nice. Just having that bag of rattling coins is just nice.
I just love the miniatures, the whole look of the game, whole feel. I love it. It's tapping into that fancy pirate aesthetic I love so much.
And it's fully funded. And
Excellent.
then some with a ton of stretch goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's I want to push as well. Like, this is a game that has many different levels to it. Like, one of the big things that you look at to begin with is it almost kind of has that sort of overreaching view of you going around the Caribbean in your ships. But then you've even got tile-based play where you're actually going around different ruins and things and fighting it almost like a dungeon crawl at the same time. So you're actually getting a lot deeper into the narrative of everything as you're playing through, which is really cool. And telling those stories on the tabletop, which is really nice. So this game feels like one of those that could be pretty much the main game of your collection that you play on the tabletop every weekend or so. So yeah, very cool.
Now, you mentioned having to keep the crew happy. That reminds me of, by far, my favourite pirate game I've ever played. Did either of you ever play Sid Meier's Pirates?
I did, yes.
Yeah. Oh,
very good.
Excellent. You never did?
No.
How about you, Lance?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it.
Oh, that
Keeping
was...
them happy was a nightmare.
Yeah, that was such a fun game. If you didn't keep them happy, they would sail off with your ship and leave you stranded on a desert island.
So I'm left looking for a pair of sea turtles.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a great game, and anything that reminds me of that.
I'll maybe have to look that one up. How old is it?
Oh, it's quite old. I think
You can get it on Steam right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a very easy one. You don't control a character so much; you're controlling the ship more.
So is it just more of a management game than an actual action game?
Yeah,
That's the kind of game I used to love playing.
Yeah, there is bits of action. There is dueling and so on, and wooing the governor's daughter by ballroom dancing, but more or less it's focused on the
That's
ship
not how I do
combat
my
and
wooing.
exploration.
But Skull Tales Full Sail is excellent.
Yes.
It looks great. The miniatures look gorgeous.
If you want to do some analog gaming, this is for you.
Yeah, sorry, I went down down a bit of memory lane there.
Tangent.
Anyway, that is it. We are reaching the end of this week's episode. before we go though, we have some competitions.
Winners.
Yeah, we have winners, and we have this
new
week's
one,
competition.
yes.
Yeah. So let's start off with the winners, shall we?
Yeah, so first up, Conflict 47, the Ursus Bodyguard set was won by Black Spiral with the comment. I'm going to lift this up just to make sure I read it properly and don't look like I'm looking at the table the whole time, so it's very newsy.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
My World War II conspiracy is that the Ghost Army was not just balloons to trick the Nazis, they were an elite force that were sucked into the Astral's plane after stopping a dimensional incursion. The cover-up on the balloons was hastily assembled to explain the disappearance of a whole army. That's pretty clever. Nicely done.
I like that. I just love the whole idea of the Ghost Army. I had to quickly look them up after this. They were the inflatable tanks, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the damn near inflatable everything.
Now, I don't know which is cooler. The idea that they were a real army that got taken away, or the fact that it was balloon tanks.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we had to convince Adolf Hitler that we were going to invade the Pas-de-Calais, so...
Yeah. Anyway, Black Spiral, congratulations to you, mate. Just be sure to fill in the form to claim your prize.
On beastofwar.com.
On beastofwar.com. Thank you, Justin. And the next one, we have the winner of Spirit Island by Greater Than Games.
Yes, so this is Time Slayer, and your comment was... Sentinels of the Multiverse is a gem of a game from Greater Than Games. To be frank, I did not play any of the other games, but their first one I fell in love with. That's kind of what I'm getting from Sentinels of the Multiverse. I've played it a couple of times now, and it's just like every time I sit down to play it, I feel the game is really giving me a nice challenge.
Yeah. Well, now they'll get to dig into another one of Greater Than Games with Spirit Island on its way to you, mate.
Yeah, I warn you now, it's very cerebral. It's very much picking the puzzle whenever you have it on the tabletop.
Okay. Well, congratulations to both those winners. Remember to come over to beastofwar.com and fill out the... It's over here, isn't it?
It's that way.
It's over here, yeah. The prize claim, it's up there.
It's not right above your head, it's out that way.
Out that way, okay.
Somewhere.
Come on, can I make him dab? Can I make him dab and make it a thing again?
I can't. I fail even the normal dabbing. No. Okay. On to this week's competition.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, for your chance to win one of 3 prizes from Godslayer. So, prize number 1 is the 2-player starter set that comes in the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you'll have to wait for the Kickstarter to fulfill. The other 2 prizes are a starter set and a rulebook for yourself. So, the way to win is to basically comment below with an ancient/mythical culture that you would love to see join the Godslayer universe.
Cool.
There are many to choose from.
Oh, yeah. What would you go for?
They've already done the one I want.
Oh,
the Norse.
Ah, fair enough. Go for the Vikings.
Fantasy Vikings, yes.
Ben, what would you choose?
Well, they're already done the Mortons, which is kind of like the Romans, which is pretty cool. But I'd love to see them do something that tied into Egyptian mythology, because I think they've got a range of amazing-looking gods, and you could do some very cool stuff with the kind of animal aspect spirits and stuff as well. So you could have hawks and crocodile men and that kind of thing as well. That could be very cool. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, that is it. Be sure to leave your comments below for your chance to win any of those 3 awesome prizes. And we will see you in the next one.
Lance.
Justin, what happened?
Nothing, you're fine.
I don't like this!
You're grand.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and be sure to check out beastofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming Let's Plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.